Hi, today this is my top 10 K-pop girl groups and boy groups video, and my bias in that group and my favorite song in that group. Okay, so let's start. So I'll do girl groups first, then boy groups. I have 10, so 20 total for this video. So number 10 for girl groups is Girls' Generation. They are a good group, I will admit that. They are just not really my favorite group out of all the K-pop groups. I know a lot of you are really big fans, so-ons, but I find them that they're just okay. But I really do love their new song, I Got a Boy, and I bought Tiffany's version of it, and that is my bias in Girls' Generation, Tiffany. And my favorite song off of them is G. So number 9 is Tiara. They are a good group. They make good songs. Truthfully, I didn't really listen to Roly Poly, Ya Ya Ya, Cry Cry. I didn't really listen to most of their songs. I really like their first album, the absolute first album, and I also liked Day by Day and We Were in Love the best. But my favorite song off of them is Falling You off their first album. It was a really pretty ballad type song. And my favorite member, Bias, is Kiri. And if you don't know, which I'm pretty sure you do, Bias is your favorite member in the group. So number 8 is 21. I know, it's also kind of ranked low on the list, but again, I feel the same way about them as Girls' Generation. I like them, they make good music, good videos, but they're just okay to me. They're not my all-time favorite. And my favorite song off of them is It Hurts. It's off their first album, 21. It's a ballad one, and they have a music video for it. It's the one where they all dress up and on the old house, and they kind of look like witches. And my favorite member is Dara. So number 7 is FX. They are a good group. They make good music, except I really didn't particularly care for their newest album, Electric Shock. I did like Electric Shock, but some of the songs in it were kind of weird to me. And my favorite member is Luna, and my favorite song off of them is So Into You. So number 6 is 4 Minutes. They are a good group. I do agree with most people that Hyuna is pretty much the only member that people seem to talk about in 4 Minute. But they do make good music, and they are a good group. So my favorite song off of them is Pretend. It's off their first album, 4 Minutes Left. My favorite songs in general are mostly ballady type, just to let you know. And my favorite member is Jiyoon. And so number 5 is Secret. They are an amazing group. I really love them. Like, when I first heard I Want You Back, I just really liked them. They have a really unique sound, how everyone's making like these upbeat techno-electric dance tracks. They make really good ballads. They sound amazing. Zinger is an amazing rapper, and they make a lot of upbeat songs, true, but they involve like a lot of brass and horns that just sounds different than other groups. And my favorite member is Jin, the main vocalist. And my favorite song is off their second mini album, Madonna, but that's not my favorite song. My favorite song is La La La. And number 4 is Sistar. First off, when I first heard Sistar, it was when they had released So Cool, and I really did not like Sistar at all. There was something about it that I wasn't liking. But then in the suggestion box on YouTube, I saw one for My Boy, and I listened to it, and I really liked that song. So I looked up more Sistar's other songs, like Shady Girl and How Dare You, and I really liked those. And then Comcast On Demand, if you have it, they have like the section in the music for K-pop videos, and they had Sistar So Cool, so I listened to it again, and suddenly I found myself really liking that song. And they really made a big impression on me, since at first I did not like them at all. But now, they are my 4th favorite group. They're great. My favorite member is the rapper, Bora, and my favorite song is Oh Baby. And next, number 3, is Wonder Girls. I discovered this group when they had released So Hot, so that was a really long time ago, and I really liked the group. But then I kinda lost interest in them after they released Nobody, and then they came back with Be My Baby, and I fell in love with them all over again. So number 3 is Wonder Girls. My favorite member is Yubin. She was my first ever K-pop bias, and my favorite song is off their first album. It's Take It. And number 2 is Brown Eyed Girls. In 2010, I found out about Brown Eyed Girls with their song Abracadabra, and it got me back into K-pop. So they have a place, because they got me back into K-pop, because before, all I seemed to listen to was like Wonder Girls and Davichi, and that was it. But they got me back into K-pop, and they helped me find a lot of other groups. So my favorite song is Breakup Letter. It's off their With Love from Brown Eyed Girls mini album. My favorite member is Mario. And then number 1 is After School, and my favorite member is Becca. After School, it was again like Sistar. I did not like it, but then they released Shampoo, and I loved that song. It was on non-stop repeat. I watched the video like every day. So I decided to give them another chance, and I looked up their other songs, and I fell in love with their song Because of You. So that is my favorite song of my favorite group, and my favorite member, Becca. But she's no longer in the group, which is kind of sad. And now for my top 10 boy groups. Number 10 is MBLAQ. I didn't really know about MBLAQ until late, after they debuted, like I found them out about when they released This Is War. But they were really good. I really liked their music. I especially liked the Mona Lisa mini album. It just sounded really cool. And my favorite song of them is I Think You Know. And my favorite member is Lee Jun. So, yeah. Number 9 is Big Bang. It's also low on my list, but it might be high on other people's lists. But they are a good group. I found them out when I found out about Davichi and Wonder Girls and stuff in 2008. And the first song I ever heard of them was We Belong Together. And that is still my favorite song that they have released. And my bias in that group is Sungri. So now, number 8 is Super Junior. And that might be low for a lot of you else, but it's my opinion. And they're a good group. I admit that I don't like all of their songs. I didn't really like Acha, and I didn't really like some of the songs off their Sexy Free and Single album, but they are still a good group. My favorite song is Only You, which is off their Sexy Free and single album Repackage. It's an amazing song. And my favorite member is Donghae. So next, number 7 is BAP. They are a good group. When they released Warrior, I listened to it once and I just didn't like it. I didn't like the blonde hair. It was not something that I liked at all. But then, so I didn't follow them at all. But then I listened to their song when they released Crash, and it reminded me, I know you might hate me for this, but it reminded me of like One Direction style, sort of, and that really got me into BAP. So that is my favorite song, Crash. And then I listened to all their other stuff, and again, like Sistar and After School, I liked them. Next, and my favorite member of that is Jonghyun. And number 6 is SHINee. They are a good group. They were the first boy group I ever listened to when I've heard their song Replay. That was the first boy group song I ever heard. And I always liked them. My bias is Jonghyun, and my favorite song is Hello. Number 5 is Beast. They're a good group. I found out about them from their song Udon, which featured Dongwoon and Davichi's member. And then I found Fiction. But my favorite song off them is off their first album, Fiction. In fact, it's called Back To. My favorite member is Dongwoon. I think that's how you say it. Number 4 is MBLAQ B. I really like them. They are really talented in everything. They make really good music. I didn't really like their debut song, but I really liked the songs they released after. My favorite member is Yukwon, and my favorite song is Did You or Did You Not. That's off their second mini album. And number 3 is 2PM. I really like 2PM. They're kind of tied. Number 2. They used to be my number 2, but you'll see who's number 2 after this. My favorite member is Nikun, and my favorite song is I Can't. And number 2 is U-Kiss. They used to be my number 3 group, but after they released Stop Girl, Dora Dora, Believe, they became my number 1. I mean, my number 2. Plus, I found out about 0330, even though it was too late for me to buy the green version because it was all sold out. But my favorite member of U-Kiss is Kevin. And also, my other bias of that group is Eli, I guess, because they both speak English fluently, and they're American, sort of. And my favorite song off them is Baby Don't Cry, but I also really like 0330 and Someday. And last, my number 1 boy K-pop group is B1A4. I really liked them when they released OK, and then I loved Beautiful Target. It's still one of my favorite music videos. But my favorite song off them is Only Learned Bad Things, and my favorite member is Sample. So that is my top 10 K-pop boy groups and girl groups. This is a really long video. Oh well. Yep, so that is that for this one. Bye.